Okay, so before we did a monomial times a trinomial or a polynomial. Now we are going to be doing, now we're going to be doing a binomial. Wow, my pen is struggling. We're going to be doing a binomial times a binomial. Remember that bi means two. So we're going to do this two ways. You have the table method and you have the FOIL method. You can choose whichever method is your absolute favorite. But I will tell you that the FOIL method is going to be really important for you to understand moving forward. Okay, in Algebra 2, they're going to expect you to use the FOIL method, but you don't have to this year. Just use what you're comfortable with this year, and then you'll eventually get to the FOIL method if you are not there yet, and that's okay. So let's start with the table method. Again, we are multiplying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build just a box. And I, again, have a binomial times a binomial. So I need 2 rows and 2 columns. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to write this first binomial on the side. So I have 5x and then -2. And then I'm going to write my second binomial on the top. So that I have 6x and then +1. And all we're going to do is kind of like a Punnett square. So that's kind of what I call this method, is I have 5x times 6x. So that is 30x squared. Remember adding the exponents. 5x times 1 is just 5x. Now I go -2 times 6x, I have -12x. And then -2 times 1 is -2. And now you have to combine like terms for your final answer. So I see I can put my -12x and my 5x together. So I have 30x squared minus 7x minus 2 for my final answer. So fun fact, a binomial times a binomial is like 95% of the time going to give you a trinomial. Okay? So that's the table method or the Punnett square method. And now let me show you the FOIL method, which is basically distributing horizontally. FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. Okay, so that's kind of the mnemonic device that helps us figure out what we're putting together. Before we actually FOIL, let's talk about this x plus y squared. Last unit, we said that we could not distribute in that squared. Do you remember that? This is not x squared plus y squared. That's not allowed. Instead, what this is saying is x plus y times x plus y. So it's 2 times. All right, so now for FOIL. First means the first term of both binomial get multiplied together. So I have x squared. Outside means that I have the outside terms. So I have x and y that are being multiplied, so that's just xy. Inside means the 2 terms that are next to each other. And again, I have x and y, so I have plus xy. And then the last one, when it says last, that means the last 2 terms of each binomial. So I have y times y, which is y squared. And now we can combine our like terms. So I have x squared plus 2xy, because xy plus xy is 2 of them, plus y squared. And that is your answer. Okay, so you have the option. You could do the table or you could do FOIL. Totally, totally up to you. I don't know why that keeps happening. Okay, so I would like for you now to practice what we just talked about. So I want you to go ahead and do 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Yes, it's 5 problems, but go ahead and do that by yourself. And when you are ready, you can come back or press pause for now, but you can come back once you are ready to check your answers. Okay, so here are the answers to 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. I did not show my work because I didn't want you to feel like you had to do FOIL method or table method. You do, again, what works for you. The only difference that we haven't really talked about yet is with 11, 12, and 13, there is a negative. And in 12, there's actually two negatives. So just be careful when you're multiplying. Remember that a minus sign and a negative sign are the same thing. Okay? All right. So hopefully we did okay on that. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. You can take a little mental break before we go to the next video.